Okay, today's video we are going to talk about the little warning that may have popped up inside your PMax or regular shopping campaign. In PMax, if you're of course running regular product shopping ads, so you had to upload your Google Merchant Center feed to your PMax campaign. For limited performance due to missing identifiers, GTIN, MPN, and brand. If you've had this message, you've probably also noticed your results have went down a ton, 50+%. This results drop is as a result of Google's system, their algorithms, whatever you want to call it, actually now deciding that MPN and GTIN, for the most part, either one or the other, are or should be required. And if you don't provide it, and they think you should have it, namely, if you're in an industry that they think that you should be able to provide one, in other words, they allow you normally, and even say that if you have like handicrafts and like custom stuff, you don't have to provide one necessarily. But if you're in an industry where it normally, let's say your competitors have them and you don't, you're going to get toasted with Google's new changes that are basically requiring this. We had two different companies that did not have them up to basically June of 2023, which is the time of making this video, and bang, it showed up in both accounts basically at the same time. Results tanked in both cases. One more than the other, based upon essentially being in an industry that normally had them, versus, and then the other one was in an industry where people normally didn't have them. But it goes to show that even if you're in an industry that doesn't normally have MPN, GTINs, you're still going to get a penalty. The good news is you can actually easily fix this by coming up with your own GTINs. Even though other people don't have them in your space, you don't have the availability to get them. You create them through a separate organization, which they can be as low as $3 each. You upload those to your Google Merchant Center account and ultimately fix the problem. So it doesn't have to be a big issue at all. And that, in fact, if you're in an industry where not many people have the GTIN or MPNs, and you go ahead and get the GTINs for yourself, you're going to have a massive advantage over your competitors who don't have these and haven't seen this video and did not understand that you could add them and actually get way more results than if you didn't add them. So I'm going to go through what the two different industries basically are or were, where the penalties came out because they didn't have a GTIN or MPN number, what we did, and ultimately what you're going to be able to do after this video to get the other half of the results back on that PMax or shopping campaign you probably took a hit from. So with that said, moving forward here, most manufacturers, offer an NPN number. So if you don't have the NPN number because your supplier that you get your products from didn't provide it, you can often go straight to the manufacturer if you could find out who their manufacturer is, because they're being stubborn assholes and they're not going to help you out, despite you mentioning that Google's really has clocked you with less sales because you don't have the MPN number. If you could somehow find out who's manufacturing those products, go directly to the manufacturer, you can get the MPN. Most manufacturers do provide it, although there's some that don't, so going directly to the manufacturer wouldn't help in that case. But what we found here is, and I've heard this through our own firm, but also other like Trustpilot and other software companies that I've dealt with that also require MPN numbers for the reviews, that the bigger problem that people are having where they can't actually get the MPN, since most manufacturers know they have to do MPNs and do have them, India manufacturers seem to just not give a damn whether or not they have an MPN or not, which is, that's cool, but I'm just saying, if you're getting your products from India and your supplier is saying they don't have MPN, chances that you're going to be able to get it is low. Even if you went to the manufacturer, say you wanted it, say how important it is to you, they ain't going to probably give a shit. The Indians don't care, basically. So obviously not for all Indians, but a good chunk of them, or a majority of the cases where you can't get the MPN, it's Indians where that happens. So that said, obviously you can do MPN or GTIN as long as you normally have one. You're pretty good shape, and you're not going to have this 50% drop in performance. I know this because of the clients who took the penalty, they didn't have GTIN or MPN. Okay, we even had it to where they saw the penalty drop, and then certain items they did have the MPN, other ones where they didn't. The ones where they didn't have it, that's where the results dropped like a rock. Okay, so with that, even if you could, you only have it for some, not others. Do the ones definitely you obviously have it, because at least on those items you're not going to take 50% plus results drop in that case. But anyway, in other times you may not be able to get the MPN from the manufacturer, but you can get the GTIN from the product supplier, or basically the brand, because a lot of times different manufacturers, if you weren't aware, they manufacture a certain product and then they'll sell it to multiple suppliers. It's the same exact item that they're selling to multiple suppliers in that industry. All they're doing is just slapping a different label. So they'll literally, I actually worked at a meat processing facility when I was much younger, doing maintenance there. Back when I was 18, 19 years old. Ultimately, before I got into doing marketing, so 20 years ago basically now. Anyway, one of the things that they would do there that I thought was pretty damn interesting at the time, and now I understand this is how business works in other factories as well. They would sell bacon, or it was a pork processing plant, and it's a place where you sell, if you're a farmer, you sell your pork to this plant. The plant then processes these pigs, and then of the meat that they cut up into different portions, such as bacon, they will actually sell the bacon to supply bacon companies that supply the bacon. So if you think you're going to get bacon from Pepperidge Farms, for instance, they are not raising hogs. They are not butchering hogs. They are selling bacon, and the value add that they have to the market is they spend money marketing the Pepperidge Ridge Farms brand name as a trusted brand in the bacon space. So then they'll just focus all the time and money and effort getting that brand known, so that when you go to the grocery store, you actually see the brand, you know the brand, and then you want to buy that one versus another one. And so then all that they have to do, and they outsource the part where they're carving up the pig themselves. They go to the meat processing facility that processes 3,000 pigs a day, and because they have the volume, and they say, here's our packaging with our brand name and everything on it. I want you to take the bacon that you have coming off your processing line, stick it in our packaging, and then ship it to us. We'll obviously pay you for the bacon, but we want you to take our packaging, put the bacon that you have coming off the line in our packaging. And then basically what you would see was, because I had to fix the bacon machine, they would do, all the bacon was going into a certain package, and then all of a sudden they would stop the line, and then they would get other packaging out, and then they start filling the bacon into the other packaging. So half of the bacon in the store that you buy, it's literally the same exact bacon from the same exact plant. All that's different is the brand name and the packaging itself. So then they provided that as a service. Now, so then with that said, it's not just them in that industry. They will do this in many other industries. Like, for instance, batteries. You buy AA batteries. Most of those batteries are just the same brand name, or same company making all the batteries that make tons and tons of batteries, and just put a different label on the same battery. So anyway, with that said, long story short here, getting to my main point here, you can go to the supplier and get the GTIN, which furthermore, they have the MPN number, but the company that does the branding and marketing of that product, they'll come out with a GTIN for that product, and then that's what the supplier or brand name, if you will, the Pepperidge Farms, like the example I gave you before, if you go to Pepperidge Farms, they'll have the GTIN number, which is basically part of like the UPC code or the barcode that's on the product. The GTIN number will be near or on that barcode. So anyway, you go to the supplier itself, which there might be that supplier sells to another distributor, so you may have to hop over the distributor you get your product from and go directly to the brand name and then ask the brand name for the GTIN, or you might be able to get it on the product itself on the UPC barcode, like I was mentioning. But anyway, you can go the GTIN route, and like I said, the GTIN will replace the need for the MPN. Google actually prefers the GTIN. For the most part, they're basically equal. You at least need one, particularly now, as they were strongly suggesting it before. Now it's like you basically have to have it, okay? One or the other. Now, so you get the real ones if you can, and you add those real ones to your feed. If you're wondering, well, why don't I just make some bullshit ones up, put it on my feed? If you do that, you'll get your product suspended, because there's an actual lookup where you can, and you can try this for yourself. Go type in MPN lookup website on Google, and you can type in an MPN number and find all the information about that product through these lookup sources. So you can't put the wrong ones. That's actually going to hurt you even more. So you got to put in the right ones, your first stop would just to put the real ones in there. But sometimes you can't get them because they don't exist. Your product was made out of India, like I said. The brand name of the product company that sells that product is so small, they don't have their shit together. They don't have a GTIN, which is going to be rare. But I recommend going to, because usually what happens, by the way, is when you don't have this, is there is no brand name. You're buying no-name products, and therefore you have to get the MPN, and then the MPN on top of it, maybe the manufacturer doesn't do that. Anyway, if you're in a situation where you can't get the MPN or the GTIN, you need to be able to get one anyway, because Google doesn't, if they think that you're in an industry where you should have one, you're getting the 50% plus drop in ad impressions, which is why you get 50% results less sales results and profits from your campaigns as it exists with this. You have to put one up anyway because they think you should have one, basically. And if once they think you should have one, you're done. You either provide it and you get the full results, or you don't provide it and you get 50% less sales than you could otherwise, or more than 50%. Anyway, so all you got to do though to fix the situation, if you can't get the MPN or GTIN from the manufacturer/supplier, you go to a website called GS1 US. Just Google that, and for $3 to $30 you can get a GTIN for that product. And if nobody else that you're dealing with and getting it from has it, or maybe you are the one making your product, this website will give you one. And because it's to the governing body which handles this, later on, if Google looks to see if that GTIN is the right one for the product you're offering, it'll show up as your company name and it'll all check out. So, and you actually pay $30 if you're going to buy just like 5 or 10 of them. It's $3 each if you're going to buy 1,000. So it's like bulk discounting or whatever. But definitely, if you make the product yourself, you want GTINs, because if you have this limited performance due to missing identifiers warning, because if you got that warning, they're already saying that we think you should have one. So, and until you have one, you're basically fucked. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you make the product or there is no supplier, it's just the manufacturer. You're getting it directly from the manufacturer, and they don't have the MPN. Doesn't matter. You get this warning, go ahead and spend the money to get the UPC / which is really the GTIN numbers from GS1 US. And for $3 each, you probably can get them. So, and then, like I said, it's actually a blessing in disguise, because if your competitors don't have them and don't know they can get them, and you now have them, now you're going to do even better than you did before you got the penalty, so to say. Currently, I have seen multiple companies lose 30 to 90% of their sales results and clicks from their shopping/PMAX campaigns without at least the MPN or GTIN number. More sales are lost if most of the industry easily has the MPN, but you're just simply not providing it for being lazy, essentially. So whereas if your industry where almost nobody has it and they still think you should have it, you'll lose sales still, but not quite as much, or as it seemed, or what I've witnessed personally myself. To give you a couple examples here, we had somebody in the funeral space, which in the funeral space, the MPN, GTINs don't exist basically because most of the people sell them directly to funeral homes, and the distribution network in that space is different. So, and a lot of the supplies come from India on top of it. So, basically, most people don't have it, but it didn't stop us from having a 50% or right around there drop in our impressions on our PMAX campaign for all the items that did not have GTIN or MPN from occurring. And that was the one where some of the items we did have the GTIN because we were selling from multiple suppliers, and some of the suppliers did have it, some of them did not, and the ones that did not have it took the 50% hit, whereas the ones that did have it took no hit at all. So, that's, in an industry where most people don't have it. We were in a furniture niche, which I can't reveal the exact niche, without giving away the client's kind of campaign here or whatever, but anyway, in a niche furniture space, we had somebody who didn't have GTIN and or MPN for most of the items in their store, but some of them did. On the items that did not have it, they took over 50% hit because most of the people that sell furniture are going to have an MPN unless it's totally custom furniture, which this was kind of a custom product, but still it was mass-produced product. Generally, when you're selling mass-produced items, they'll have MPNs, and then definitely in that case, Google's going to expect you to have it because more than you are just selling it, of course there should be an MPN, or I guess so is their thoughts. But we had more so closer to 80% drop in the impressions for that furniture company guy's campaign for the items that did not have a MPN/GTIN number. So totally screwed us over in that particular market bad, to the point where this guy could get the MPN and GTINs. He just was too lazy to do it. We really pushed to get him to give it to us because it was difficult to get them in that space from the supplier, but we did get it, added them, and most of the results that we dropped within 30 days of adding them all came back. Not quite all, which I kind of expect we weren't going to get the full results back at least right away, because the algorithm, anytime you make changes to the ad system or your ads or whatever in Google Ads, there's going to be volatility, negative volatility in your results until the algorithm relearns how to run your ads with the new settings, however you got it set up now. That's just how it works for everything on Google Ads. So naturally, it should have went right back to where it was. It didn't quite do that. We got 80 to 90% of the results back, and I expect we'll get all of the results back in time if we give it three more months or so. But this is definitely new, so I don't have all that data for you yet. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video, but anyway, that's what you're going to do. If you don't have a GTIN or MPN, you're going to create the GTINs through GS1 US, and then you're going to add them, and then if you haven't added the brand for this part of the error, itself, then you're going to add the brand at the same time. So either GTIN or MPN, and then the brand to make sure you don't have an issue. And obviously you'll know that you're getting hit because you can compare the last, if you notice results went down, compare the results from then to now, and then a time frame directly before that, and you can see how the ad impressions have dropped on those items. You don't have the GTIN or MPN number on it. And see the 50% drop for yourself. So, yeah, I think I had one other thing I was going to cover here before I wrap this up. Oh, I know what I was going to say. And obviously the warning itself also says limited. It actually tells you the ads are limited. They're only running on a limited basis right now. In other occasions where Google says eligible but limited, for the most part you basically are getting most of the clicks. It's not affecting you too much. But in this particular instance, with this particular warning and it's saying limited, it damn well does mean limited. They're not effing around when they give you this warning. You're going to have to do this. Otherwise you'll be struggling real hard from now on. So no matter how hard it is to get it, even if it's going to take you 10 hours of your own time just to figure out how to get it, you got to get it done. If you expect Google Ads to be a significant part of your business long term. For the most part, like I do, though, I figure out how to do something. I make a video and I get, a outsourced virtual assistant to do that kind of stuff for me, because that's the only smart way to do stuff that's going to take your time inputting those numbers one by one, or sifting through a data log to get the numbers so they can be input. You create a 5-minute video on doing one and they do the rest. So don't be dumb about it. You don't have to do all the work. Just do enough to teach someone else how to do it. And videos are just great because it makes it so easy to convey exactly what needs to be done. So you don't have to hope and wish and expect the person you assign it to can figure out how to do it. And then you waste a week or two of them not doing what they're supposed to do. You just figure it out yourself, make a video of it, pass it off. In a week it'll all be done exactly like it needs to be. Your results will come back. So anyway, I'll pretty much wrap it up with that though. If you have any questions, leave me about this or anything else that is on your mind about running ads or whatnot. Leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, as I have a lot of other content on this channel about money-making advertising strategies, running ads online through Facebook, Google, you name the place you can run ads online, I cover it on this channel, and I am able and are qualified to do so because I personally manage for clients several dozen ad accounts on an ongoing basis. I have a team to help me do stuff, but I strategize directly all the ad accounts and stuff that we do for our clients at my agency, and so I see firsthand the stuff that works versus doesn't work. And it's very different than what you're typically going to find on YouTube with a professional YouTuber who all they're doing is just making YouTube ads for a living, which I don't live off of YouTube advertising and all that. I work with clients is the 90+% of how we make money here. And then with that, I'm qualified to be able to give you the information I'm giving you here today, as well as I have enough information to give you information that isn't going to just apply in one or two scenarios. I run, the campaigns we run, well, I've had experience running 20 or 30 of them before, not one or two like a lot of these other guys that run, a solo show as well. So I have the breadth of information in terms of seeing what types of strategies work in most markets and most situations, and it's coming straight from the source. I don't have to ask somebody else for that information. I can see what works and as well as what doesn't work. So therefore, you're going to get the best information you could possibly find about making money with ads in an actionable format than anywhere else basically you can find online. If you like the channel, you'll also like my blog at GaryTPPC.com/blog, where you can also find great information for myself about how to make money with ads on a guaranteed basis or way. Given we have to actually make money for our clients up front before we charge our clients anything for the PPC management services that we provide. So you're getting the working strategies we use that literally guarantee results for people. And if you would like us to guarantee your results, I'd be happy to look over your stuff. Reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I'll look at what you have. If you have a great product or service that has great potential, I can estimate how much results I can get for your campaigns up front and let you know how long and how much results we can get you up front before taking a fee. And of course what we want once we get you there. But very likely for a lot of different clients, we'll guarantee we can double your sales up front from just using your ads on a static budget or current budget you have or something like that. But we don't work with just anybody. If you have everything going on that's right and good in your business and you just need somebody who knows how to run great ads, sprinkle on top, I would love to be able to be that part of your overall business systems. We're the best team you're going to find is actually going to be able to get results. Unlike 9 out of 10 other people that say they do PPC, they can't get results very easily, very much, or even want to spend the time to get you the results. This is the real deal here. So reach out to me if you're curious about working together, and I'll look over your stuff and potentially have a chat with you. But with that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. Peace out.